has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth, but we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Alright everybody, Darkest Dungeon is about making the most of a bad situation. Quests will fail or must be abandoned, heroes will die, and when they die, they stay dead. Progress autosaves constantly, so actions are permanent. The game expects a lot out of you. How far will you push your adventurers? How much are you willing to risk in your quest to restore the hamlet? What will you sacrifice to save the life of your favorite hero? Well, I don't get to read the rest of that. Good evening to you all. I will do my best to hold my own to the wonderful narration of, obviously a very talented narrator. But having announced that I am too sick to stream, I kind of suspect not too many people are gonna be here to watch me play The Darkest Dungeon. Now, I'm actually familiar with this game. I haven't played it a ton. I did actually play it when it was in early access. I wasn't one of the people who was included in the Ancestral Bestowment, but like I have played this on stream before, and I really enjoy the game, but I'm not too good at it. I've not really made that much progress in general, but obviously I've liked it enough to buy all of these extra things. And I thought, actually, so if you want to know a really if you want to know a really silly reason why I'm doing this tonight, Wayne June, who is very active on Twitter, I had tweeted out a favorite little bit of audio, an audio outtake. For those of you who know who Orson Welles is, the one sad feature of his career, despite being sort of a wunderkind on both stage and radio and film, I mean, he's the guy who made Citizen Kane, which is regarded by many to be the greatest film ever made. I sometimes think that title is one of these things that people, you know, that reputation has taken hold, and so, you know, I think some people tend to repeat it without necessarily believing it. But because my background is in the camera department, I can certainly say Toland's cinematography is something else. So it's certainly a very good film, even if it's not necessarily the greatest film. But anyways, Orson Welles had great difficulty financing his films over his career, and there were points in his career where in fact his only income came from doing commercial work, and not even directing the commercials, usually acting in them. And so there's an outtake, you can actually go and look for this, although I did tweet it out, called Frozen Peas, and it's a series of commercials that he did for the company Findus. It's a British company, I think, and he's given... So first of all, there are two people in the booth who are trying to give him direction, which he does not particularly like. And some of the direction that he's being given is not very thoughtful. Hello, Tall Man Alive. Hello, Johnny Big Time. Yeah, I thought a lot of people would be very excited by this. I'm actually telling you the story why I'm playing Darkest Dungeon, although certainly nobody... Thank you, by the way, Jamie Sam, thank you very much for your comment on that little bit of reading that I did. Not exactly. I don't know if it's a short story or short essay that I put on Twitter, but it really meant a lot. So thank you for that. But anyways, Wells very clearly is not happy. I actually also sent Johnny a video of Orson Welles doing a commercial for Paul Masson, where he has clearly enjoyed the product. It's a wine. He's clearly enjoyed the product very thoroughly, Anyways, Wells is quite grumpy, and he has various comments to make on the direction that he's being given, as well as some remarks on the copy. And I think it's a very amusing little bit of audio. I actually heard that before I went to any kind of like higher education, but I was a big movie buff, so I knew who Orson Welles was. But anyway, so I just wrote a silly little thing on Twitter saying that, you know, H.P. Lovecraft is cool and all, but I really hope that somebody pays Wayne June to do the Orson Welles Frozen Peas outtakes. And he actually recently replied to it with a really funny outtake of William Shatner being given some direction, which he very clearly does not take very well. I was laughing throughout it, but like, I felt so bad for the tech by the end of it. Like, Shatner just like demolishes this guy, but it's subtle. Like, I think if you were to give direction to that tech, you could probably approximate their reaction by saying something to the effect of, you know, okay, imagine you're directly underneath the spaceship in Independence Day just before it opens up. There's sort of this, you get this dawning realization on the part of the tech as to how screwed he is in the moment, and I felt... Excuse me, I am still sick, by the way. Oh, Jesus. But anyways, like I said, scrappy little indie outfit, you know, Darkest Dungeon. Who's heard of that, right? Their voice narrator made me laugh, and so even though I'm sick, I'm streaming tonight. That's how life works. So, special thank you to Mr. June for doing a wonderful job to this game. I bought this thing when it was in early access specifically because I had a friend of mine, who never reads chat. He was playing this game. I had his video on in the background, and I heard the narration, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I pretty much bought it off of that. So it's really compelling stuff. Yeah, that's the whole reason I'm doing this. So we are going to open a new hamlet. Is this your first estate? The Crimson Court includes the complexity and pressure of the campaign. It is recommended for experienced players. Well, I think I count as an experienced player. This will probably be my undoing, but... and I am absolutely not doing Blood Moon. Blood Moon campaigns are not for the faint of heart. Expect no quarter, no forgiveness. You must conquer the evil within a time and hero death limit. Blood Moon is Stygian plus Crimson Court. So normal campaigns are the original settings for the game. While there is no time limit to win, the campaign will be longer and more challenging than Radiant mode. Alright, so, am I dying of consumption? It feels like it. I've been sick for over a week, so... And let me just take a quick second, because I did... obviously, I wanted to say hello to the other folks as well. So we've got Tall Man Alive, who is very excited. Johnny Big Time. Now, Johnny Big Time, I think you own Darkest Dungeon, but you haven't played it yet, have you? Oh god, this is really wonderful. There's so many people who are mentioning some audio outtakes right now. I'm not going to listen to them on cast, but I'm really looking forward to going through my Twitter mentions again. Jamie Sam again, thank you again for your comments. I should have got the link. Actually, just give me a quick second here, guys. I know I'm taking so long to get into the game. It's been 10 minutes already. But let me just grab a quick link here. For those of you who haven't seen this, I recorded a short story, or a short essay by Stephen Leacock, a Canadian economist and writer. It was it's a fun little thing, but a lot of you do say you'd like to hear me do audio books. So the thing is that I've never been someone to just look at, like, people make a living out of this thing, right? So I never have gotten the level of maybe bravado to come in and say it's like, well, you know, I'm the chosen one, I'm just going to come in and start throwing my weight around. But I do try to respond to requests that people make, and I figured that was a fun little bit of Canadiana that most of you wouldn't have experienced. I'm so sorry. And if you have been wanting to hear me read some written word, I did record this yesterday when I was sick, so don't expect too much. But I hope you guys do enjoy that, and you know, I will do my best to record more if there's enough interest. Now, unfortunately, I've not filibustered long enough for the time, so let's call this the Wells. The Forgotten Estate. All right. Enjoy some movies.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
So one thing I've always wondered about that opening cutscene, I really love that, with the stagecoach destroyed and the caretaker gone, you will have to make the journey to the hamlet on foot. So one of the things I've always been curious about with that opening cinematic, you know how like the wheel is turning one way and then it turns the other, and sort of it corrects itself as soon as it hits down. I've always wondered one of two possibilities. Is it that the wagon is up in the air and so the thing is spinning the wrong way? Or is it adopting a cinematic glitch? So this is one of the things that's really interesting about some games, is that they will actually put in the imperfections that we see in films, things like chromatic aberration or like the vignetting that comes from lenses, or flares. And I mean, these are not things that we normally experience as people. I guess you kind of experience lens flares if you wear glasses, but even then they have like special coatings to minimize it. Then again, they also have special coatings to minimize it for lenses. But one of the things that was probably more true for older movies, but the thing about cinematography is, because the camera is taking shots at sort of a certain rate and wheels may be moving at another rate, the rate at which the photos are being taken, if the wheels are sort of moving at this like perfect 24 frame sync, it actually doesn't look like they're moving at all. And if you're just slightly off sync so that the camera just takes a shot just before they complete the full rotation, it actually looks like the wheels are moving backwards. And this is a huge problem if you're trying to record things like carriages or cars or anything like that. So I've always wondered, and I've never been able to settle it for myself. The audio cue really makes me think that this is that the wagon is like high in the air, but I always wondered if that wheel turning backward was just a great example of sort of using an imperfection in movies inside of a game cinematic to give it that level of authenticity. Anyways, it's really striking original image. It's great. Anyways, on to the Hamlet. Map navigation. You are currently in a room. To move forth, click on another room on the map display. This will take you to the connecting hallway. I will give my shout-outs and comments about
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
The Magnificent Johnny Big Time when we've got a couple of missions down. So, while in a hallway, press D to move forward and A to move back. If you prefer the mouse, you can click ahead or behind the party to move them.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Combat is turn-based. On your hero's turn, click a skill icon and then click on the highlighted target. If you can't select a particular skill, it's because that hero needs to be standing in a different spot or there are no valid targets. Mouse over the skill to see their requirements.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Loot. Each item, if you take it, will occupy space in your inventory. Mouse over items to show details about them. This works in your inventory too. Press escape to close this window. Time to move. While exploring, you will often find interactive objects. Click or press W to investigate them. Take a look at this tent. By the way, I have a feeling, as I was mentioning, I'm going to have to compete with a really good voiceover on this, but I think the way we'll handle this is the ancestor will give you appropriate feelings of dread, and I will attempt to soothe your rattled nerves. Someone has camped here recently. Someone left valuables inside the tent. Yours for the taking.
Leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places. An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome. Destroyed.
Damn, I missed your eyes. Hello, hidden citizen. Yes, I'm sorry for bamboozling everyone by saying I wasn't streaming, but I got sent a funny video, and so it inspired me to subject you all to my incompetence in the darkest dungeon. It is a really well done art style. So I lived in Vancouver around the time that this game came out, so I don't really know any of these people well, but the Power Up audio guy, Kevin Regami, I've had a chance to talk with him a couple of times, and then I'm pretty sure Red Hook is still based in Vancouver. But I believe it was Chris Barassa is the one who does the art for this, and Tyler Sigmund is the other half of that studio. So this game looks great. You don't know why you've not played it yet. Oh, Johnny Big Time! So I think one of the reasons you'll quite like it. When you play XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, you'll actually see that they picked up some ideas from this game. But it's really good. Like just the fantasy RPG battles. The thing that amuses, or not amuses me, the thing that interests me so much about this game is when you actually sit down and think about it. It's such an obviously good idea for a game that was just waiting there. Like, you've got this beach, everybody's looking for an awesome idea, and there's just this giant, gem sitting there that everybody's ignoring. What you'll find, for those of you who haven't played this, oh god, my Crusader's getting really low on his health. And, yeah, he is. But what we're going to find... Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to mention... I'll mention this... I don't know, I'll say it now. So, in this game, you'll notice that you've got two resources. You've got your health and your stress. Now, when you go out on another adventure after this one is done, your health is back. You could be on death's door, and you could, you know, in the next adventure, you will be back to full health. But what stays is stress. You kind of have two health bars in this game, health and stress, and the mental toll, the fatigue or the, you know, the horrors that you see. Obviously, the game makes. I mean, with a name like Red Hook, right? That's a very obvious Lovecraft reference. This game, like, is entirely about the stresses and the long-term toll. And like the thing is, like, you could think of this game
Cursed champion falls.
could just as easily be done in like Vietnam, right? You can have this game where, I mean, this, like, a Vietnam setting would be fantastic for the themes of this game, because, you know, in terms of the United States, I don't think they ever really were defeated on the battlefield, and ultimately that did not matter in terms of Vietnam. And obviously that story is one of, you know, tremendous psychological pressure on people. And in this game, you know, human life doesn't mean a whole lot. There's always going to be a new batch of recruits or something like that. But in this particular game, because it's fantasy and it's horror, you're able to deal with those kinds of themes without kind of touching that third rail of people's, you know, feelings on modern issues. Like, so obviously people will have quite a bit at stake when you talk about something like the Vietnam War. Whereas if it's fantasy and, you know, talking about the horrors that just leak, you know, beneath the surface, it's a little bit more palatable. So, you know, in this, like, this is just a great and fun game to play on its own, but just lying underneath the surface of this game are some really interesting ideas on fantasy. You know, so, you know, you've got Lord of the Rings, where people are coming in and they're being tested, and they're great physical tests, and they're just being, you know, they're overcoming. And then this game is really leaning into those Lovecraftian themes of, your mind sort of fraying with what you're seeing and what you're experiencing. And in this case, you know, there are stress healers, there are stress tanks, and there's just, you know, the flesh is very malleable. It's cheap, it's something that's easily replenished, but what happens to the people inside is permanent and stays, and it is such a good idea for a game. So after you've completed the requirements of a quest, you have the option to return to town at any time. Just click the crest. If you don't need to return to the starting room of the dungeon to exit. So we're going to continue adventuring. So the Drifter's Buckle, Highwayman only, common, plus 10% trap disarm chance, plus 4 dodge, but at the expense of a negative 5% stress heal. So, and get you to open the chest. Bandit's Trapped Chest. Something doesn't quite look right with this one. This item has no effect. Burn it. Damnation. So you've leveled up. Reynold has gained Second Wind, plus 10% damage if HP is below 50%, and Dismas has become a tippler. In town, he will only drink. Alright, while we're going to the hamlet, let me just take a quick minute here and shout out Johnny Big Time. I know, obviously, we're almost half an hour in.
Such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Johnny Big Time is my absolute favorite broadcaster. If you guys like good streams, please watch him, and please bug him to play Darkest Dungeon. Oh my god, I want to see him play that game. He's done probably one of my favorite... no, it's not even probably. He has done my favorite XCOM playthrough that I've ever seen. I actually did... You know what? It's been a while since I've shown this, so I'm sorry to do this. Because I know some... Oh! It's probably a little more audible to everybody, or is that too loud? Let's mute this for a little bit, just so I can show you this. Johnny has got just a tremendous wit, and he's got a he's got a camera presence, just a really wonderful personality, as well as an ability to sort of I don't know, just like carry an audience. He, even if he's having a tough time with a game, like he's just able to always keep things fun. Like you never see him do extended, just like blather like me. It's always really engaging to watch him. But I have to show you. I recut the XCOM. I recut the XCOM trailer in honor of Johnny Big Time's playthrough. And if you guys want a reason, you think 84 would be the perfect volume? All right, I will make it 84 just for you, Johnny. But before we go any further, I need to give you guys a reason to watch Johnny Big Time, and it's right here. It is the XCOM introduction.
In light of the recent extraterrestrial incursion, this Council of Nations has convened to approve the activation of the XCOM project.
You on drugs?
You have been chosen to lead this initiative.
What the fuck?
To oversee our first and last line of defense. Your efforts will have considerable influence on this planet's future. We urge you to keep that in mind as you proceed. Good luck, Commander.
Do you remember when you were playing the game and you were like shooting aliens? Do you remember that? Like, do you remember when you were playing this game and you were shooting aliens and like you were hitting them and you were having a good time? You remember that? Well, fuck that now. We're coming at you hard with these giant fucking guys. And that's it. You're not, don't even look at them. Just sit there and take it.
Oh God. So yeah, can't possibly think how that particular trailer might be related to to The Darkest Dungeon, but if you like games like The Darkest Dungeon, please do check out Johnny Big Time. Like I said, there's a reason why I can, you know, I refer to him as my. I'm sorry, Johnny, I will not be able to do 84. I have a feeling that's exactly why you said 84. yeah, he's got an amazing camera presence. He is so much fun. He's got a great attitude, and I would really love to see him get the kind of attention and support that I have, because he is, in my view, one of the hidden gems of Twitch. And again, I'm sure he will be playing Darkest Dungeon at some point in the future. So we're at the Forgotten Estate. The game will give you some general guides, so, you know, it's like the Pirate's Code, it's more rules than guidelines. Successfully complete your first foray into the ruins, we can defeat the Apprentice Necromancer, the Sonorous Prophet, oh, Sonorous Prophet, eh? Sounds like a job for me. But yeah, there's a bunch of bosses, culminating in, of course, the final Darkest Dungeon quest. Just a bunch of stuff to do and a bunch of roster goals. The neat thing is you can kind of ignore these. This I always sort of like looking at, okay, I'm not quite sure what I want to do, let's just check this off, but you'll actually wind up fulfilling these as you play through the game. I'm obviously explaining a game that a lot of people are very familiar with, but get help where you may. On any screen in the game, press and hold H to see the contextual help for controls in that mode. Try it while in town, exploring, fighting, camping, and more. Alright. Graveyard.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
Nobody dead yet?
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
You'll need to recruit all of these heroes to fill out a party of 4, drag and drop them into your roster. So we only have 2 have come in, so we've got the...
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
We've got the Plague Doctor and the Vestal.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
While you're here, spend some of your starting heirlooms on upgrading the Stagecoach network. This will increase the number of heroes available here in the future. To upgrade, click the plus symbol on the left and then click the upgrade. So, I always do what I'm told. Now we can increase the size of the hero roster. The thing is I'm not entirely sure I benefit from that yet, because if we're going to be getting 3 heroes each round, it's going to take us a while to fill that out, and obviously we don't know when we'll be getting more resources, so we'll leave that for now. One of the things that's also really nice about this game, so it's giving me little exclamation marks, so embark, there isn't much more for you to do in town right now, it's time to embark on a quest. Click the embark button at the bottom of the screen. Just to get rid of the exclamation marks,
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
All sorts of goodies. If you really want to watch that cinematic again, you can. It's a very compelling one. But one of the things I really like too is that they have put a lot of thought into the sort of the interface for the game as well. If you don't want to...
Trinkets and charms, gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
If you don't want to click in and out of the different menus, you actually have these buttons on the side. Now, the Jeweler is part of the Color of Madness DLC, which I have and is enabled. The Comet's Crash has attracted an opportunist who specializes in otherworldly treasure. You can spend crystal shards earned at the farmstead here. And then there's the Nomad Wagon. Again, I can increase it, but not quite the thing I want to do right now. So, and then Survivalist, Tavern, Sanitarium, Abbey, Guild, Blacksmith, all close to me.
A mecca of madness and morbidity.
Quests.
Your work begins.
Quests and parties. This is where you select a quest and form an adventuring party of 4 heroes to embark on it. Click on quests to see their details. Drag heroes into slots at the bottom of the screen to form your party and default party order. So, when this game first came out, when it was in the early access period, these different regions actually unlocked over time. Like each patch, you'd sort of get a new environment. Sorry, 1 second. I am so sorry. Again, I'm still sick. So the main idea here is that you go through these different environments, You level them up, and eventually you'll run into a boss. Are there subtitles? Not because you need them, because it seems like a great game for people who are hard of hearing or deaf, and it would be a shame if there were no subtitles. That's a really good point, Jamie Sam, and I'm willing to guess that they are, and I actually thank you for bringing that to my attention, because I'm really bad at remembering. To put those on. So there we go. We'll put them at the bottom. But no, that's a really good point, and I really should be turning subtitles on for every game. I thank you for that reminder. All right, so Fonarau and Maroard. Now, it is traditional to name members of the party after people inside of chat. Because I'm very chatty, what I will do is I'm going to try and get some progress under my belt, and I don't know if I'll do it by the end of the stream, but I do plan on doing some more of this game, so eventually we will start naming some people in chat after characters. I am going to hold off on doing that for a little while, though. Just I want to get a nice big roster, and then people can maybe say what they want. If we want, we can actually go to the Darkest Dungeon, but as you can see, the characters maybe don't have quite a good reaction to that. Although, I mean, we can get the Talisman of the Flame. It can't be that hard, right? Alright, Scout, test yourself in the mad realm of your fallen ancestor. Take note of how the creatures have taken over, but don't delve too far. Goals: explore 90% of rooms, and if we successfully complete it, we get 3,000 gold, 4 crests, a sun charm, and a partridge in a pear tree. Partridge.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
You'll want to take different supplies depending on what region you are going to, how long the quest is, and your own preferences, but always bring some food and torches. For your first short quest, try bringing at least 8 food and 4 torches. I always do what I'm told, so, except in the Stanley Parable. Your first expedition into the ruins of your ancestry. Be curious, be careful. Alright, so one thing that's really nice about the layout of this game, I really feel that this is a particularly good game for streaming, because you have this nice little, menu to show you where you are in relation. So if somebody were to come into the channel halfway through a dungeon, you sort of have an idea roughly of the progress and all of that. But as Johnny says, let's kill everything. Onward and downward. You salvage the unburned torch.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
Now, this wonderful music you are hearing, which is, I believe, you get a copy of it with the deluxe edition, is by, I think the guy's name is Stuart Chatwood. If I remember correctly, he was a member of a Canadian band. I'm pretty sure they were called the Tea Party. But like he was in a rock band before he made the soundtrack for the Darkest Dungeon. So I am super proud of the fact that there are so many Canadians involved with the creation of this game. All right, let's try and do a stunning blow to try and keep this guy from attacking.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
When most monsters die, they leave corpses. Corpses act as temporary obstacles, which will eventually go away on their own. You can attack corpses to destroy them faster, but often a better approach is to use ranged skills, push-pull skills, or even corpse-clearing special skills that some heroes possess. Monsters are killed with bleed, blight, or crits. Monsters killed with bleed, blight, or crits leave no corpses at all. This, by the way, was a really controversial...
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
It's a really controversial decision for the game, and the community really did shame itself, at least some elements of it, really did shame themselves in the way that they reacted to it. If you are interested in that particular bit, there's an interview with Tyler Sigmund that Soren Johnson did for Designer Notes. It's a really good one, and he talks a bit about it, and it's a shame that that happened, but what I'm really happy about is that the game was so successful
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
I was really happy that the game rose above it, because it is the right decision. Like, adding corpses keep the game from being just like this table saw that it used to be. Like, I can remember playing it before corpses were in, and there was like one strategy for taking out guys. So it was a 100%.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
100% the right decision, but one that I think people who had kind of invested themselves in the game and sort of maybe felt a certain ownership of it reacted negatively to. So notice that the torch went down a little bit when that attack went through. This is a little bit like Cultist Simulator in the sense, the light normally seems like a good thing, but there's actually a trade-off. So the darker things get, the stress and crits go up, but you also wind up getting better rewards. So I've had a couple of cases where I've gone through a dungeon and I forgot to bring torches. And it actually turned out alright. Anyways, I'm not going to be able to reach the lady in the back. She's pretty bad for stress, and as we said, stress is the permanent sort of health between dungeons, so I want to take her out pretty quickly. Damn it, Dismas! Okay, I can Plague Grenade, I can Noxious Grenade. Ah!
Back to the pit.
In this case, I'm just going to keep building up the plague on her. So I've got a couple people that I might want to heal.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Okay, so now that I've got the source of stress gone, I can start healing people again. I was going to use Judgment to help out with that, but...
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Alright. No enemies in here. I'm definitely going to go into this room because it has treasure. Also, no reason for me not to use my torches.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Oh, it's such a good game, Jamie Sam. I'll be keeping this for myself. Reward hard earned. Hang on. He's a kleptomaniac, damn it.
The light, the promise of safety.
We've got the lovely Eyes of Sin inside the channel right now. Thank you very much for 19 months of subscribing. I'm glad that you like this game. I know you're actually following the Voice of the Ancestor on Twitter. But I'm very happy to see you. I'm glad that you got a chance to see this game. Or at least me play this game, because I know you've seen many other people play it. Alright, let's try and get some more. Again, I can do some damage to these guys here, but I do want to take out the source of stress generation as quickly as I can. And one of the big reasons for that is that because I have such a small roster, obviously if I don't have good heroes to replace, let's say, Renault with, that's going to create problems, that's going to create a liability for the next party. So these people are potentially damaged by not having him present in the group. So we'll rain down Judgment.
Unnerved, unbalanced. As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Yes, and credit where credit is due. Chris Barassa is the artist behind this. The sound work too is really fantastic. Like the combination of the really striking poses and the, you know, just that really nice crunch when you hit. Like, when you crit in this game, you feel absolutely unstoppable. But remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Alright, let's heal up some folks. Okay.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
See, great minds think alike. Bet it wouldn't be trapped if I had that key you stole. Okay, so in this case, he's got blight and bleeding. Now these persist even after combat. So in this case, I can use the anti-venom to cure him of at least the one. I have some choices. I only need to explore 90% of rooms. It's possible that I can pick up some stuff through that curio, but I want to try and do as much exploration as I can with my lantern, and we'll decide afterwards whether or not I want to head back. Alright, it's not telling me anything. Okay, so I think we're just going to move to this room. We'll make this sort of a stretch goal. If I can, I'd like to get it, but I can complete the quest without it.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
So fun fact, there was a bug in this game that removed that line, or like it was in the game, but like it wouldn't trigger. But people had heard it before, and apparently, like, people were saying, like, where's the trinkets and baubles line? I really liked it. And sure enough, they went in and checked, and it was there, so. The light is fading. The current torch level greatly affects many mechanics in the game. The darker it gets, the harder things get, but the better the rewards. Right-click on a torch from the inventory to boost the light back up. So stress is going up, monster accuracy and damage go up, monster crits go up, heroes are more likely to be surprised, but I get a boost to loot player crits, and apparently I can surprise monsters. I did not know that you could reduce the torch, by the way. Okay, so this is a really tricky one for me to work with, because I know there's an obstacle and I know I don't have a way of getting past it. But the thing is that there's treasure here, so we must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose.
Without tools of iron, you must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose.
Obviously, there's a big stress cost for that.
Terrors may indeed stalk these shadows, but yonder, a glint of gold. As life ebbs, terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
When a hero is reduced to 0 HP, they are at death's door. While in this state, they will suffer stat penalties, plus further damage has a chance to kill them. Heal them to get them off death's door. You're kidding me.
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
We gotta turn this around. One of the other things I love about this, one of my favorite little cues in this for the music is when they change the key to go to this one, like especially for the last fight. It ramps up the intensity so much more. Right. Stop! Anyone but him!
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
Reynolds' resolve is tested.
Those who covet injury find it in no short supply.
When heroes can't take the stress anymore, they become afflicted. This manifests in different behaviors and stat changes. Afflictions last until you send them to treatment in town, unless you can reduce their stress to 0 during the quest. You know what? Let's grape shot these guys.
Is the weapon that cuts on its own.
I think that'll be enough to take him out. Although that doesn't give anything for my Crusader to do so.
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Alright. Peace. Alright, we're safe.
By inches. Slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
Oh no, we're continuing. If these guys are going to be stressed out, I'm going to take it to the limit. I would make a great manager, by the way.
Ambushed by foul invention. Secrets and wonders can be found in the most tenebrous corners of this place. Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
Oh, this is gonna come apart at the seams.
Finally claim their due.
Stress continues to build beyond the point of affliction. If a hero's stress bar fills a second time completely, their body will give out. Give them aid or retreat back to town before this happens. Death awaits us all.
Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
You know what, this guy's probably gonna... Yeah, he's down next, so I can grape shot or I can pistol shot. I think I'm gonna go for the... heavier hit. Deformed by birth or merely hideous? Oh no, he's not connected, so... Easy.
This expedition at least promises success.
So this is the thing that's neat about this, right, is you get to see these people in the stressful situation. And obviously, if you've ever been in a work environment where tensions are getting high, that manifests in really different ways in people. Some people become, some people become very internal and they absorb a lot of the negative feeling, where some people lash out. You absolutely get to see that between all the characters. I just think it's great. So, Holy Fountain, an ornate fountain of holy purport. Propitiations are found inside the fountain. Right. Sorry, guys. Decent haul. Alright. Reynold is clumsy, -5 dodge, and hot to trot, +20 accuracy on the first round, +25 damage on the first round, and +5 crit on the first round. And Maroward, faithless, will not pray or flagellate for stress relief.
Trouble yourself not with the cost of this crusade. Its noble end affords you broad tolerance in your choice of means.
Over time, some negative quirks will lock into place and become severe. Severe negative quirks cost much more to remove in the sanitarium. So Tavern's unlocked, Abbey is unlocked. Now, the real drawback here, I need to do something to take my mind off this. The real drawback, of course, is everybody's stressed out, and I don't necessarily have enough recruits to replace them all. So let's upgrade the network, and we're already down there. So we'll just bring as many...
The raw strength of youth may be spent, but his eyes hold the secrets of 100 campaigns.
I'm sorry I did that so quickly. I should have heard what the abomination does, but...
To fight the abyss, one must know it.
Okay. So I've got the tavern.
Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
Heroes relieve stress by taking part in activities at the Tavern and Abbey. Each activity has different side effects. Experiment to find the best activity for each hero depending on their quirks. Committing a hero to an activity locks them in that activity until the next week. You'll have to take a different hero with you on your next quest. So I can bring all but one into the into the dungeon. Here's what I think I'm going to do.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
So this is kind of neat. I mean, Maroward can't be... There are no gods, and I'll waste not waste my time. Thing is that she's not banned from doing any of these, so... The Faithless Vestal, who knew? So let's think a little bit about what my party's going to be. A strange glow at the farmstead. The comet's impact was felt here in the hamlet. The great impact toppled gravestones and kicked up a cloud of dust that covered the entire region. When it finally settled, an eerie miasma was seen to spread from the mill. It distorted the rules of time and space far beyond imagining. Venture to the miller's farm to see what has been done. So there's a couple of things that I can do. So we've got Duquesne, who... This game will actually tell you preferred positions. Where this comes from is you take a look at all of their different skills, and you can see the sort of the different... basically the best position for all of these. So he's good in a position 1 or a position 2. Lei is good in a position 1 through 3, basically. Looks like he's kind of best in a 2, though, because that gives him access to everything. So Cardon apparently isn't that good at everything, but he's definitely good in a position 3. So with that in mind, We'll say... maybe put him there. And I suppose the question now is, do I... You know, plague grenade's actually pretty decent. This is a tricky one. Do I bring the Vestal along? Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to bring the Vestal along. So let's get these guys taken care of. So... Reynald will only pray. Dismas is a tippler. What does a plague doctor do? So lazy eye and light sensitive. Oh, it's an easy way of getting out of the light. Here's an extra coin. I wasn't here. Okay, so I got my choice of quest. We do have the Light in the Sky, Short Apprentice, defeat all enemies. Or we can continue exploring the ruins. So, skirmish, unholy abominations turning the light against itself. Meet them in battle and learn how they fight. So this one we would need to complete 100% of room battles. Similar story here of 90% of rooms. We have slightly longer runs. They can be killed, they can be beaten. So 100% of room battles again, or another explore rooms, but in this case a longer one. So one of the considerations I have here is whether or not my party's going to be able to withstand sort of a longer campaign. All of these guys are fresh, but I do have a fairly important character who's already at high stress. So I think what I'll have to do is I'll have to decide between the two short ones. And they're having a good time in the brothel. So the question is, do I like the warrior's cap or the archer's ring more? And the warrior's cap has no downside, so in this case, we're gonna go for that. I'm gonna bring a little bit more as far as torches are concerned, and then we'll bring a shovel this time. The ruins bear all the signs of your ancestors' frenzied digging.
The fiends must be driven back. And what better place to begin than the seat of our noble line?
Right-click on a hero's image or portrait at any time to bring up a detailed panel showing all of the hero's quirks, skills, and resistances. So, obsessed with paranoia, obsessed with cleanliness, lower armor upgrade costs, crush, rampart, retribution. I kind of know all these abilities already, but basically, clearly a frontliner. Like, even if you didn't pay attention to the preferred position, you just need to look at these abilities. You can unlock others, obviously. Yeah, you know, we kind of already reviewed all of these, so I think we'll play it by ear. If anybody has questions, by the way, feel free to speak up. All right. Sentimental gifts are hidden inside.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
So let's find out who's good at getting rid of traps, not the not the man-at-arms. They all suck.
Curious is the trap maker's art. His efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes.
I don't know if I want to crush rampart. I think we're gonna go for a crush first. I have an idea. I want to make sure I can get another abyssal artillery. Okay, I can heal right away, but this is not a great choice. So. So I wanted to make sure that I could take her out before I started messing around with that. Let's start healing people. Not worth it. I should have considered what the effect of the Fearful would be on the rest of the party. This is a tricky one. Do I want to... You know what, I think I am going to do another Abyssal Artillery.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
In this case, putting some light on this guy probably wouldn't hurt, to be honest.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
So one of the things I can try and do is take advantage of this this small lull and get a bunch of health up. One catch here is that the person who stuns also has the self-heal, so I can't sort of stun people and heal everything up all at once. I am, however, going to try Weird Reconstruction. Now this is kind of a neat one because it has a range of 0 to 13, but it also has a chance to cause people to bleed. So it's a bit of a risk, like you could get a 13 heal, but then you could give some of that back in the form of bleed, which we will be here. So 1 damage per round for 3 rounds, so it's kind of a, it nets out, but it's one I'm going to be paying back. So, this is a tricky question actually. Do I try and smack this guy down more? It's just a cheeky little chance for me to boost the health of the party. Alright, now you die.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Alright.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Lumpy Space, you handsome devil, what were you playing tonight? Thank you very much for that raid, and hello everybody from Lumpy's channel. I'm playing Darkest Dungeon for the first time in a very long time on this stream, and I'm having an absolute blast with it. I hope everyone else is as well. What is happening? Guys, for those of you who don't know him, Lumpy Space is a streamer on Twitch. You probably figured that out seeing as he is raiding me. Somebody who I originally met through Johnny Big Time's channel. Very friendly fellow. And I would say you know, I know them better as a streamer. Sorry, not as a streamer, but as a chat participant. Diurnal, -2 speed if the torch is below 26, so I can't afford to lower things. Sorry guys, I just need to sneeze again. Or maybe I don't. But yeah, Lumpy is...
Ambushed by foul invention.
Lumpy is an absolute pleasure to have inside of chat, as well as Lurker. Plus 10% damage if torch below 26, of course. Alright. Tried Apex Legends last week, but you're back into Mortal Kombat 10 tonight. What are your opinions on Mortal Kombat 11? I know nothing about it, but I know you are a fan, so... so it's tempting to try and smack the gunman with the chain, but the thing about the Beast's Bile is that it's going to cause ticking damage on 2 people. So the total amount of damage, I think, will compensate. Excuse me. So I can Judgment... You know what? I am going to Judgment.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden. dizzying blow to body and brain.
Looks like we're going to be having another batch of trips to the tavern and the abbey.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Worth a try. Excuse me again. Alright, let's get some healing down. So if we get to an emergency case,
A death by injury.
Vestal focuses on the Man of War, the Abomination sort of stuns people, and the Occultist does weird reconstruction. In this case though, I'm going to go for Absolution. Damn it. What's the tick look like? 4 damage, so he'll be dead next round. I'm glad to hear you're very excited for number 11. Again, I'm not familiar
Injury and
at all
despondence
with the...
set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
I'm not at all familiar with the series, so I kind of need to live vicariously through your enthusiasm. In this case, I am going to heal up the Abomination. I need to check that guy's bleed resistance. Yeah, that's... Well, everybody else is pretty bad at bleed too. I should probably get the Occultist to be doing that on himself more often. Thank you, Lumpy. That means a lot. Oh, hang on. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be trying to improve stress. Yeah, the big thing on this one is I have a feeling more people... Oh, he's not going to die next round. I should have paid closer attention because the round ticked over. Anyways, that's not that wasn't a huge cost. So I had the feeling that more people experienced it than might have been indicated by the response. But the big thing is that I can never know, right? I don't think, you know, let's just do judgment. She needs the healing anyway.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
So yeah, I don't want to just assume from some Twitter metrics or something like that everybody listened to it. And again, because everybody likes saying that they want to hear me do some recorded stuff, I thought it would be nice to try and put that out. So I'm really glad you enjoyed that, Lumpy, and thank you for saying so. See, guys, I told you Lumpy was nice. The blood is a special type of supply item. Any collected bottles of the blood will be retained in your estate at quest end. They may be added to the provisions of embarking parties. The blood is rare. Spread it around wisely amongst those in need. Now, this is a mechanic. I have never actually played the Crimson Court. I am assuming that this is related to it. The call is unyielding. The urge is irresistible. Only the blood will quell the thirst. We will continue adventuring. Yes, I am unfamiliar with this. Hang on. That's more like it. Oh, wrong button. I should also be rearranging the order. But yeah, so this is just going to be a chance to grab some more loot. The big thing on this one is I have enough torch, so there's not going to be as much stress generated as last time. It's probably not a good idea, but... Again, just ticking damage in this case is where I want to go with that. Probably should have paid more attention to the stress effect of combat like this.
Unnerved, unbalanced. Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
I don't think I'm going to go for weird reconstruction. He should be down next round. Yes. So we just need to worry about the back row.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Let's see if I can turn this into a stun that gets me some healing opportunities.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Managing.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
A pretty... It's a pretty risky choice I'm making here just because of the stress levels for everybody.
Light, the promise of safety.
But it's early. There's loot to be gotten. Okay, so because I'm going to be going up against battles and it's just curios ahead, I think the risk is too high.
More bones returned to rest. Devils remanded to their abyss.
Alright, 8 crests. Ashen, minus 10% blight and bleed resist. Wield Scrounger, plus 5% scouting chance in the wield. And we've got Hyriomania. It experiences religious visions and delusions. Red question mark on a hero's portrait indicates they are unavailable for the week.
Though long years may seek to separate them, action and consequence will invariably have their dreadful reunion.
Intolerable clouds of mosquitoes and other less identifiable pests continue to descend upon the hamlet with maddening persistence. Illness and irritation abound. New courtyard quest available. How you doing, Ego? Things are going all right. I'm still very sick, and but I'm doing my best to manage by playing a game all about managing, stress and whatnot. This healed a lot less stress than I thought it would. So sated and relaxed after a night amongst the cushions. 46 stress and is no longer abusive. 30 recovered. 39 stress, no longer masochistic. Blacksmith and the guild are now available. So we're still going to need to put some people... Ooh, I need to increase my hero roster.
Word is traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities. We can use this. What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Ego Karen has been awake for 35 hours and had some whiskey, so your brain is basically... That's insane. I hope you turn out okay, Ego, but take care of yourself, okay?
He will be laughing still at the end. Elusive, evasive, persistent. Righteous traits for a rogue.
Okay.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Tell you what, guys, I'm just going to take a very quick second and grab some water. I didn't get some at the very beginning, and now seems like a good time. Please leave your comments as to how much you enjoyed the Darkest Dungeon. I will be back in less than 2 minutes. Okay, this makes me very happy to see you all enjoying it so much. And I won't lie, I'm particularly thrilled that Johnny likes it, because who here wants to see Johnny play the Darkest Dungeon? Okay, I'm gonna need to make some choices. Okay, so I know Dismas definitely will
With
drink.
enough ale, maybe they can be inured against the horrors below.
I know the cloister is also...
A man in a robe, claiming communion with the divine. Madness. Strong drink, a game of chance, and companionship. The rush of life. A little hope, however desperate, is never without worth.
Okay, so this is basically just made sure that... I mean, I didn't need to do the transit because it's been... it's currently occupied by the caretaker. But this should hopefully make the recovery a bit more effective than the others. Well, I'm glad you like the playthrough specifically, Sin, because I know you know a lot of people who are a lot more, I don't know, better known for streaming this game. I kind of feel like it's something I should be able to do well, but I also know I'm not feeling 100%, so... Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see what kind of a party I can put together on the on the basis of who's not super stressed. Okay, this guy is definitely a position 3. Montgomery is a position 2. I mean, Duelist Advance would be kinda cool. Ooh, this is a tough one, actually. Okay, I'm definitely gonna need to get a new skill for him, but I think I can work with this. Gale... It would be nice to have the incision ability, but I can live without it. But I don't have a good frontliner. And the Arbalest is a much better position for, so I don't have a healer though, which is a problem. So let's, okay, I can still work with this. Reynald. You know what? I'm gonna feel like such an idiot for doing this, but Reynald and Dismas, they've been together from the beginning. Okay. So let's, Let's make sure nobody's got... Just want to make sure nobody's got any peculiar requirements. You're going back to the brothel. And... yeah, you know what? You can gamble. You can hit yourself. Okay. This is still not a great composition, but let's see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to...
once again.
Yeah, we don't have
the forge stands ready to make weapons of war.
We don't have any upgrade options yet. Obviously, it'd be nice to move these up, but I use this all in recovery. Guild.
Make no mistake. We will face ever greater threats. Our soldiers must be ready.
I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to buy the battlefield bandage for the arbalist. It'll give me a heal in an emergency. I don't think I'm going to do the blind fire though. No, browned. I'm actually okay. Battle Ballad would be nice, but I can work with what we've got here. Actually, the Inspiring Tune will help quite a bit with Renaud and Dismas. It is tempting to give Renaud a battle heal. I'm not going to though, because they sort of need to be a damage dealer. Okay, so as much as I don't want to, as much as I'd like to go on a more substantial run, obviously because I've got some people with some higher stress, it's going to be a similar story here. We're just going to go for something short, so we can do... I think I'd prefer a scouting mission if I can. So, do I want deeds? Do I want crests? Well, this is an absolute... This is an old... Excuse me. I think this is a pure benefit, so in this case we'll do another scout. Okay. If you live for risk and darkness, by all means bring few torches. So with luck, I'll actually be able to turn this into a...
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
With any luck, I'll be able to turn this into a net benefit for me by bringing down the stress, but we'll see how that goes. Oh. See, it is really good if I can get... I think we'll go for the marked target for now. Lock mechanism is trapped. Deleted. So again, we only need to check. We only need to check the rooms. We don't need to be too fancy. Let's try the holy water. Ritual relieves the hero. Ooh, that paid off. These guys are stress generators, so I'd normally like to do a... See, I'd normally like to do Inspiring Tune, but I actually want to make sure that we do as much damage to the courtier as we can. I don't think I'm going to be able to stun. So just a Zealous Accusation up.
As the
Yes!
wind falls, a faint hope blossoms. The slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
Okay, so we're gonna see if we can stun him for a little tempo. Your hero is bleeding. If you wish, you can use a bandage from the inventory to stop the flow. Right-click on the bandage while it's the injured hero's turn.
Press disadvantage. Give them no quarter.
There's some things I could have done to try and not kill that guy, but I don't want to get
In
too
Radiance,
clever.
may we find victory. As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
So, it's
Cruel machinations spring to life.
essentially
With a singular purpose.
So the way the game explains it, it's just the corpse of the enemy, unless they basically... So there's small enemies, and there are enemies that get crit or bleed out. But basically, if you just normally kill an enemy, then they will leave a... they'll leave a corpse. I think in this case I will put the protection stone on him. So... So basically inside the game it's an obstacle. Now, in the larger sense of things, when this game first came out, there was like one strategy that would always work in this game, and it's basically to kind of treat it like a table saw. You just like focus fire down the people in the front row, and everybody would move forward, and then you just kind of keep chopping through that. And so this whole idea that you're only able to attack certain positions, it just kind of made nonsense of that. So the corpses were a tremendously controversial decision at the time. I think you can actually turn them off in the options. Yep, right here. I don't think you can do that while you're in the mission, but monsters leave corpses, combat delay penalties, so on and so forth. But a lot of these things here are a lot of the things that are here are actually in response to the game being in early access. Because the funny thing about this is that like you get, as a player, you can get used to certain things, but they're actually things that make the game not fun. So in this case, Red Hook made absolutely the right choice, but it was not necessarily one that they were rewarded for until, you know,
The way is lit.
the end of the journey.
We require only the strength to follow it.
Okay, let's make some choices here. I still need to get rid of the stress generator first, so let's harvest. Also get to inflict bleed on 2, or potentially inflict bleed. Okay, good news. So notice there wasn't a corpse left there. In this case, I do want to take out the Arbalist, but I'm willing to set it up. You know, the funny thing is, Ego, it's actually... This is a very forgiving game. And not a lot of people will say this. The individual heroes are... It's very easy to die. But unless you play the game on the hardest difficulty, there is no way to lose it. So this is the funny thing, it's like, even though the Darkest Dungeon has this, you know, this reputation for being a really hard game, it's a game that in its original implementation was impossible to lose. I think I'm gonna go, well, you know what? I didn't really need to mark them.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
So I'm going to try and go for a stun if I can. This is just to be able to take advantage of some... Oh, can't do that. Hooray, the order's back. So I definitely need to get the heals back up.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, let's... Okay, good news here. So I want to make sure I keep my torches up even though I know there's not going to be any enemies. But notice, I'd say we should for everybody have... I think everybody is at lower stress than they were when they began. Sorry, that's not true. Of the people who started with stress. Renaud and Dismas. This is interesting. I think the torch is going down lower because I'm retreading.
The light, the promise of safety.
Ooh, we're out of food already. This could get ugly. I'm actually less worried about the health penalties than the stress. Did I forget to... Oh, I forgot to bring a shovel, I'm an idiot. Okay, that's gonna be bad for stress.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
I think that Jester's gonna have to earn his keep. Highwaymen should be pretty good at.
The match is struck. A blazing star
I think this
is
always
born.
winds up triggering. Yeah. I need to remember to bring keys. Okay, 2 stress generators is not great, but... That's not so good. So this one takes out my torch as well as my stress. I completely forgot to switch out her skills. I wonder if I can do that mid-combat. No, that would be kind of pointless. But yeah, so I'm focusing her down, and then we'll move on to the others. We need to start playing some guitar for him. She's very good at dodging that. I need better.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Yeah, forgetting to bring the heal was pretty
Their formation is broken.
I think the Bulwark of Faith
Maintain
will
the
help me bring up my torch when it comes down to it. Okay, good. This guy taken care of. If he can inflict bleed on everyone else, that'll be a big problem.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Do you want to know what the Jester keeps his loot in? A loot box. I'm actually gonna go for the music. I wonder if it's possible to mod this game so that you can replace the
Back to the pit.
so you can replace the music with like heavy metal or something. All right, Arbalist versus Arbalist. Arbalist wins. Thank God. This time I am gonna risk wasting a shot. It paid off. This was so I could get a heal in on this guy. Alright. Again, not a ton.
A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
Like, I didn't get like a ton of healing out of that, but it's just a nice little efficiency in the way that the turn worked that allowed me to get a bit more. Now we're out of torches, so we're gonna start getting some stress, but we'll also be at the end of the adventure soon. Sacre bleu! He's my tank too. Ooh, that's gonna be... Ooh, spicy. Alright. So we're gonna focus and take out the tempting goblin first. Record here. I still want to focus this guy down. Even though I want to do healing, we need to focus on the stress generator.
Injury and despondence.
This could get
set
bad.
the stage for heroism or cowardice.
Let's keep our focus. There's nothing he can do about helping Dismas, so...
Be gone, fiend. Death is patient. It will wait.
It will wait. Have you read my latest blog?
Impressive. Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end. A fortune waiting to be spent.
There's gonna be something horrible on the other side of this door. Oh, thank God. Let's see if we get a scouting. Yeah, it's not worth risking these guys for this.
The shifted corridors and sloped walls of our ancestry are beginning to feel familiar.
Thank you for sharing the link to All Man Alive. Okay, Precise Striker, Egomania, and Healer's Gift. 20% healing skills while camping. Upon returning to the hamlet, be sure to check the activity log to see what has transpired in your absence.
She has paid dearly for her freedom. And deserves better than this place.
Desert Wind, a sandstorm of rumors and half-truths swirl around this newcomer. So this is from the Shieldbreaker DLC.
Shifting, swaying, She mesmerizes her prey before the final strike.
Alright, that's a pretty big... Okay, this is actually a really good week in town. So our Plague Doctor recovered 81 stress. The Occultist gained 2,000 gold from gambling and recovered 69 stress. Yeah, everybody's doing well. So the sanitarium now. The sanitarium is most often used to remove negative quirks and treat diseases, but you can also use it to reinforce a positive quirk, which will lock it into place and prevent new positive quirks from displacing it. You can lock a maximum of 3 positive quirks per hero. And then we've got the survivalist.
At home in wild places, she is a stalwart survivor and a strict instructor.
So this is a set of skills that we haven't actually used yet, so I'm just going to wait on those. But let's see who came in on the stagecoach. So we don't have a Hellion yet, so we'll definitely add one.
Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
So we don't have enough deeds to increase the barracks. So the question is, do we want to replace any of the existing people with these new recruits? The only reason I could imagine doing that would be if this Plague Doctor has more desirable traits than the other one. Not really, so... Okay, before we go any further, I think what I'm going to get into the habit of is constructing a party before I make decisions on sending people out. Okay, so we've got Pierce, which is forward 1. We've got Adder's Kiss, which is back. Okay, so they're going to be jumping. They're going to be jumping in and out. This would be kind of fun. Excuse me. Ideally, it'll be all level 0 people. Okay, Montgomery. This is the only one I don't feel good about. Jesus. Sorry, guys. Should also be upgrading this before I go any further. Nope, bar is taken up, so nothing for Dismas to do about that.
Strong drink, a game of chance, and companionship. The rush of life.
Okay, so Dismas isn't able to do anything because of the bar. I'm not going to send him out, though. Does anybody else have any weird quirks? Oops. Yeah, we might as well. It's like, it's kind of costly, but not like unbearably so. Okay, as far as the guild goes, I do want to get some healing for this guy. just in case we need it. We'll replace Incision because he shouldn't be in position, anything but position 4. You sneezed the other day when you were peeing. You spent the next 5 minutes cleaning the bathroom. Oh no. I feel so bad for you, Johnny. A necromancer is performing unspeakable rituals in the shattered halls of your ancestral home. It must be stopped. Yes, but maybe not with this group. We could go to the courtyard. The hamlet is afflicted with a plague of winged pests. Brave the swampy ruins of the courtyard and torch their monstrous colonies. It's big rewards. This is victory. Actually, this is a Arbalist boost as well. Man-at-Arms. Antiquarian only. You know what? Let's do something new. I've never done the courtyard before, so let's... This quest is dangerous and longer than usual. Level 1 or level 2. Alright. Thank you, game. I always wanted to visit the Warrens. That's where I really meant to go. Again, guys, this is the reason to follow Johnny Big Time's channel. It's full of fun little details like that. By the way, I should actually be mentioning, so obviously, by the way, I talked about Lumpy Space, but I didn't actually give the shout out. I apologize. I should also mention what Johnny is playing. Johnny is playing the Witcher series, mainly, so. The Warrens is full of disease and blight in equal measure. Come prepared to deal with sickness.
They breed quickly down there in the dark, but perhaps we can slay them even faster.
Okay, so this is a bit of a pain as far as a layout, but we can work with it. Always happy for heirlooms. I'm going to try and preserve the torch. I'm not going to recharge it quite yet. Okay. So it's pretty unlikely things in the Warrens, like they've all got some pretty good plague resistances, but... Well, actually... Let's buff someone first. Okay, so we can pierce, Matter's Kiss, impale. Oh god, this is so good. I think I gotta go for the hack.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
The Hellion? Okay. This is a really neat character, by the way, in terms of just how they move throughout the environment. Now, this is somebody who's generating stress, so we're... By the way, I love the face on the drum. In this case, we're gonna... I think we're gonna go for the Plague Grenade, even if it just does a little damage.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Okay, not great, but...
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Hero is blighted. If you wish, you can use anti-venom from the inventory to neutralize it. Right-click on the anti-venom while it's the injured hero's turn.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Boots, musketeer
Seize
only,
this
though.
momentum. Push on to the task's end.
A dark altar with skulls prominently on display. A strange power can be felt in its presence. The altar infuses your hero with great power. Ooh, cool. And we won't be camping, so... Okay, glad I brought the shovel. I think I'm going to go for the curios just because we're in a fairly good position. Oof, that's going to be... The hero receives a nasty gash. Scouted traps will be visible on the ground as you approach them. Select a hero and click on the trap to disarm it. To attempt to disarm it. So that was not worth it in the end, but you can never know. This is going to be a character building hallway coming up. We've got an obstacle, a curio, and then 2 battles back to back. Nothing we can't handle though.
Such blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
Shambler's Altar. It says, the sacrifice of fire is the gate to ruin. Place a torch if you crave the void. Let's give you a Noxious Blast. Very tempting, but I think I need to go for, you know, let's just do a good old-fashioned.
Be gone, fiend. The flesh is knit. Annihilated.
I told you feel like an absolute champion every time you nail a crit in this game.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Okay. Again, we got stress generators in the back, which I want to focus down. I'm not very sophisticated in my strategies, I just know what I like. I think we're going to go for the good old-fashioned Impale. I mean, it is kind of counter to what I'm doing in terms of trying to take down the stress generators first, but I kind of also need to keep in mind what my... Like, obviously being able to eliminate sources of damage is an advantage itself too. So for instance, this character... no. Okay, so Breakthrough is one that deals damage to the first 3, but that character doesn't have it. So in this case I want to focus fire either the Swine Drummer or the Swine Wretch. In this case, you can see the potential damage, so 4 to 8. So unless I get a crit on this guy, I can't kill them here, where it's possible I can kill the Swine Wretch. So...
Obliterated.
Alright, have a good one, Johnny. We could potentially stun the first 2 you know what, let's try that. I've never really used this. Oh, that's so good. Okay, I got a plan for that. Okay, so the important thing now is that they're down to 3 health, but they take 4 damage on the Blight, so I don't need to worry about them anymore. I can instead focus on these attacks, so... That is a shame, though, that these guys got their attacks ahead of time. That kind of blew my plan. So what I was hoping for was that my shield breaker would go first, and I'd be able to put them in the front row with their mark and be able to use the shield. That didn't turn out that way, but I do at least get to cure the bleeding. So we'll still do this. Damage block tokens, also known as Aegis tokens, absorb 100% of the physical damage from the next attack that strikes the hero.
Destroyed.
So again, this guy's gonna die next round, so I'm not focusing on them, even though they're normally a priority.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Just gonna get a achievement heal in because hopefully this guy won't get his turn. Okay, so I can do the Adder's Kiss. Doesn't actually really change the damage that much, but it's armor okay. Because this is armor piercing, I do actually want to focus on that. Oh, didn't pay off though. So
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
okay, pretty good return for on the items. An unsettling passage. Damnation. Alright, well.
Well struck.
I'm a big fan of this skill. This is probably the most valuable 1,000 gold I've ever spent.
Eradicated.
I didn't really want to end that, but I think it's better to. I think I should just accept what's about to happen and
so too will resistance.
plan accordingly. Okay, this isn't too bad.
Unbalanced. Executed with impunity. These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
We're carrying on with this.
The way is lit. The path is clear.
So we know there's no more room battles. Unless this was a scouting one. Actually, I think this was a scouting one. How am I for food? So I got enough for... That's just to try and give a little more of a buffer than that character currently has. But I wanted to make sure I had 4 just in case that happened. Okay, I feel like nothing good can come of this. Moonshine Cave. Yeah. No surprises there. Okay.
Some experiments should have never happened. You are doing just work ending them.
So here's the deal, guys. I was gonna do naming naming people in chat, or sort of naming characters after people in chat, but I'd feel bad doing that when Johnny's out. So if/when Johnny comes back and we're still playing, I will start adding you folks to the roster. And if he doesn't come back the next time we play this, I'll be sure to put people in. That'll be the contract, okay? Okay, our fading, hard-skinned, lens tactician, anemic, thin-blooded. Not my favorite set of mallet.
Awash in blood and delusion, he bears the burden of 1,000 lifetimes.
I really want this guy in my group.
Another soul battered and broken, cast aside like a spent torch.
There are some who believe only a litany of blood and suffering can cleanse sickness in the land. Here is one who will do his part.
There is power in the blood, for those with the fortitude to pay the price.
Okay, Duquesne, minus 81 stress. Gamble to recover 69 stress. The bloodletting was a bit too effective. So now lower bleed resist, and generally everybody else is in good shape. So Dismas, right off the top, is going to the bar. Although I should have seen if I could have improved it. I could have.
With enough ale, maybe they can be inured against the horrors below.
I'm just gonna toss these out. So I think I've got enough people around that I can sort of handle. Alright. Hylomania, obsessed with material things. Welcome to gambling. I think everybody else is in reasonably good shape, so let's think about where we're gonna go. And then I think I'm ready to try the farmstead. Let's see if I can do like a medium length. So we can do exploration, or we can do cleansing. Also, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so I definitely want to prioritize deeds. So we can get deeds from the ruins. Get deeds from the Warrens. There's a nice medium length as well, so this will give us a chance to try out a few new things. I'm going to keep Reynaud in back, because I just like this idea of keeping him and Dismas in the party for a while. Excuse me. Okay, what kind of a party do I want? Bring the just want to make sure he's got. I actually want to change around his abilities. Grave Robber is a cool looking character. This would be kind of neat. I am a little curious. I'd like to see if there's if I can figure out what the other like named party types are. So my reasoning here is this: I don't actually have a lot of healing abilities, although this guy has got some cool ones. what? I think I'm actually quite... Getting low on cash. I don't think I can cure any one of their diseases. Well, let's see what it'll cost. So, kleptomaniac is definitely one I'd like to get rid of. It might be very expensive, though. Yeah, right. Not happening. I mean, I'm willing to... Let's get rid of sickly. I'm willing to spend some money on maintenance, but that was a bit high. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. Firewood and camping. This quest involves camping, and camping requires firewood. Firewood is given automatically to you on appropriate quests. Camping gives heroes a chance to recuperate while in the dungeon. When you are wounded or stressed and wish to camp, right-click on the firewood in your inventory. Now, I'm hoping that I don't have too much as far as stress is concerned, but we'll see. So we'll stock up on food. So that's going to be good for 3 rounds. I think I'm actually going to bring more, though. It's definitely very generous on the provisions, but I am okay. I'm okay with that. The only other question is if I want to bring anti-venom, but I'm feeling lucky. Not really, but I'm still going to go without it. Roleplay supply item can often protect against the hazards of interactive objects you encounter.
They breed quickly down there in the dark. But perhaps we can slay them even faster.
Did not realize. Oh, that's right. This is because of the town event. Okay. Again, this is a bit of a devilish one, just because we need to go one way and then back. But we have plenty of torches, so I will not spare them. Oh, I forgot to reassign everybody's skills. Okay, that's fine. That is not fine. Shame on you.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken. Back to the pit. Executed with impunity. Begone, fiend.
Okay.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
So plan here is this is a little bit more oriented towards, so just I tried to pick some complementary abilities, and then because I don't have any injuries right now, I want the Arbalist to do maximum damage, but this isn't a permanent set of skills that I'm going to use. Probably brought too many torches. Shame on you. You're not allowed to go first. Bleeding everywhere. Breakthroughs, it's a little early for that. Excuse me. Never too early to deal with stress.
Is the weapon that cuts on its own. Destroyed.
So, because of these abilities, I'm not that worried about the not that worried about this guy taking damage. I actually kind of want to encourage it.
Give them no quarter.
But you'll see why. Alright, these guys are a bit of a pain, but I think we can work with this. Damn it. These guys are kind of weak, so I don't want to waste the turn to mark them. Okay, this is a bit of a dilemma. Let's do that.
Continue the onslaught.
Excuse me.
Destroy them all.
It's tempting to play music. Yep, I'm doing it. Thank you, Jamie Sam. It's definitely been longer than I would like with the bad health, but we'll work with what we've got.
A death by inches.
Okay, this is not too bad. We should be able to recover. We won't be able to really recover health, but we should at least be able to recover some sanity. It is a little tempting to use the Yop here, actually. Alright, unfortunately he survived it, so this guy should be dying to bleed. Didn't want that to happen.
As life ebbs, terrible vistas of emptiness.
This is actually a
reveal
huge
themselves.
problem because I don't have a way of healing him, and he could potentially die next round. So the best case scenario is one where I'm able to take this guy out before the Jester gets this turn. It's very unlikely that's going to happen. Ooh,
Another life wasted.
that
The pursuit of
stings.
glory and gold.
Discretion is the better part of valor. The first of many heroes have given their all in service to you. You have the option of retreating from combat and abandoning this quest to save others or press forward. The choice of yours. If this is the tutorial, retreat is unavailable. So, I mean,
The slow death, unforeseen.
unforgiving.
Don't have a lot to be mad at myself with on that. I think I made the right call by not having that heal in place, because this guy was close to being able to give out a heal, but I'm still down a hero for it, so... Oh well. Exactly one turn too late. Ooh, that stun's gonna sting.
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
If I lose this guy, I'm gonna lose it.
Another one falls. Another abomination cleansed from our lands. Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive. Foolish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
Okay. Clearly we can afford to chow down a bit.
Such blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
You know, I think at this point I've lost enough that we should have that bandage on standby. Okay, so we have a long journey ahead of us. Now, at any point I can do the camping, but there's really no good reason for me to do that right now. This is one of the struggles I actually have with this game, is I've never found a great decision rule for when to camp, and I've had a lot of quests where I wind up dropping a lot of loot only to drop the campfire like super late on in the run. But
A fortune, waiting to be spent. Mind that such missteps are the exception, and not the rule.
journal page, a snippet from the Journal of a Doomed Expedition.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Blood-soaked pages torn from a journal, 2 of 6. My fears are confirmed. With our torch doused by an errant spray of seawater, we were ambushed. Strange fish-like hominids ambushed us in the sudden darkness. The pitch of the torch caught quickly, and I glimpsed scaly appendages swinging crude weapons, glistening and barbed. It didn't last long with our torch rekindled. Alas, one bit me on the neck before I gutted it. The wound stings and tingles strangely. Our physic told me to keep it clean and covered.
The light, the promise of safety.
Okay. I think I'm gonna try bleeding out the big guy. some health on himself in a bit. Let's weaken. Oh, cool. So, problem with the guy in the front row is he can cause blight, but I think stress is my bigger killer at the moment. I'm still going for the shot.
As the fiend falls,
It would have been nice to get a heal in, but
hope blossoms.
okay, so this is a pretty easy choice. So there's a bit of an argument for me to camp right now. Let's do it.
Circle in the dark. The battle may yet be won.
Camping consists of two parts, the meal phase and the skill phase. During the meal phase, you choose how much they eat, which determines recovery. Make sure that you have enough food. The skill phase allows you to spend rest points on different hero skills used for recuperation. So we're doing okay as far as health because of that big meal. We can do the Lash's Solace, minus 50 stress, sounds good. The Lash's Anger, self only plus 40 stress, so I'm not sure what the benefit is to boosting the stress for this character is yet. Revel. Okay, so penalties, but we all reduce stress, not worth it. Battle trance. Ooh. Okay. I'm okay letting her in B position 1 for a bit. We'll do pep talk. We survive if we submit to the beast inside. And marching plan or triage. Marching plan. Learn to move in ordered fashion. We will fight better together. I don't think I have anything else. Yeah, well, I can boost the.
The darkness holds much worse than mere trickery and boogeymen.
Oh, brutal. This is so bad. Okay. Let's...
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
So I'm a bit lucky in the fact that I've got
Remind
such a
yourself
huge
that overconfidence
surplus
is
of
a slow
food.
and insidious
I
killer.
think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait the turn for this to cycle through, and then we'll heal them up. Kind of curious. Badge protects the hero's hands during the search. Oh,
If
cool.
only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Okay, so I shouldn't be going in the Warrens. That's what you're saying, Jamie Sam? Because there's a lot of piggy
Ancient
sounds here.
Traps lie in wait, unsprung and thirsting for blood.
Go up. Thanks.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Not great for stress, but I think we can work with this. Okay, real question is, do I heal myself, or do I go for the... I feel like I need to go for the hits here.
Annihilated.
It's tourist season in the ruins. Ooh. This is close to a fatality.
A devastating blow.
Let's buy ourselves some time. So good news here, of course, is that I have a heal.
A death denied. For now.
Okay, this guy's done. This guy... I need to focus them. This guy's got a high protection.
From becoming unwound.
He's actually doing quite a bit more damage than I'd normally give him credit for. This didn't really work all that well as a strategy last time, but I'm not giving up on it. Wait, what? Yeah. Okay, they are in position. I think I'm still gonna go for the bandage.
Sedated.
Tough little fella.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
Nice. So again, we've got ridiculous amounts of food.
Seize this momentum.
So I'm gonna
Push
take
on to the
advantage of that
task's end.
and chow down. Okay, well, I mean, not great, but I'm not gonna cry over it. Let's see what else we can find here. Okay, we'll go at least up to here. The obstacle, I don't want to like get the stress down. Oh, hang on, we've got the shovels, so we should be good to get a little greedier.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
I don't want to lose my jester for nothing.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
So I gotta mind the food situation now. I still have enough, like, to... If I need to heal, I have a couple... I have a little bit in reserve, but I can't be as careless as I've been.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Shameful.
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Some pretty brutal stress that they're getting.
maybe. But a victory nonetheless.
Mission's done.
Some experiments should have never happened. You are doing just work ending them.
So good for deeds, which is what we were kind of hoping for. We've got some levels, which is good. Lygophobia and Resilience. And Cove Explorer. Cool.
A fresh irritant to some. A sanguine memory to me.
The town is abuzz. A crumbling stone entry to a forgotten labyrinthian garden has been uncovered. The discoverer, sadly, has perished from innumerable insect stings. Concern arises. Stress reduction activities in town are slightly less effective. Not great, but I think we can manage with that. So it looks like we won something in gambling again, which is good. Actually, everything is good, save for the fact that we lost our jester. So let's go back to the stagecoach. We do not have a replacement jester. I do have additional room in the barracks,
More
though.
arrive, foolishly seeking fortune and glory
We
in
can
this domain
actually,
of the damned.
we can actually afford to recruit everyone.
Shoot, bandage, and pillage. The dancing steps of war.
So this doesn't mean... I keep forgetting. I actually need to be slower in bringing those people in because it'd be nice to hear their descriptions. Now, this doesn't mean I'm going to keep everyone. This is just I have the space available and I can use more people in the encounters. But if I have better opportunities that come up, I will throw them away. This might also be the last run. I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to go for the full duration, but I'm sure you've noticed I'm a little less talkative today, and I am definitely feeling the effects of my my health. So let's. Again, I want to get in the habit of. I want to get in the habit of making sure that everybody's sort of prepared. Now we can try going for the Necromancer right away. Normally I like to be a little better prepared than this, though. Let's try leveling up. It would be a good position 3 for the... Thing is, Dismas isn't really that great of a choice for... I kind of feel like it'd be the Occultist is my best position 3. I think the only thing I don't like about this combo is that it's kind of healer heavy. I'm not actually going to go after the Necromancer this time, but now that I've got my people set aside, let's get them to... They're the only one who needs to recover stress, right? Yeah. I can try and remove some quirks, but it probably wouldn't hurt for me to save up a little money. Okay, these are actually all pretty decent. It would be nice to get more crests, but I already have a lot of them, so I think I am going to go for the cleanse. And my apologies, Jamie Sam, I am going back to the Warrens. Oh, lovely. Okay, so Johnny, the fresh and clean Johnny, we're going to... I'm gonna... excuse me. I did promise you guys, this is the reward for staying to the very end. I'm now gonna open up the. I'm gonna open up the. I'm gonna open up the list to basically be anyone. If you want to join the party, you can, and we'll do a little bit of coloring and beautifying. So even if you're a lurker, even if you're somebody who doesn't normally chat, and you want to have your name in the game, that's fine. Couple of ground rules. Reynold and Dismas are staying put. You can't take their names. You can name them. You can name any character anything that you want. You get to pick the look that they have. Obviously, I get final say as to the decency of certain claims. If you want to gender bend, you can. Honestly, this is your avatar, and you don't have to use your own name, but I'm going to assume that you do. So let's do streamers first. So Johnny Big Time, can you be the alchemist? Are you the alchemist? I don't think there is, but are you talking about the plague doctor, Tall Man Alive? So yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to do priority to streamers first. This is just because it is a chance for them to get a little advertising. But after that, everybody feel free to just come in and say whatever you want. I'll do this on time. Or sorry, I'll do this sort of first come first serve. It's just I am going to give a little bit of priority to the streamers. So that's Johnny, Lumpy, and Eyes of Sin, I think, are the ones. So but yeah, do you want to call it Johnny Big Time? Johnny Big Time? Just let me know if you want me to change it around. As far as outfits go, I don't know if you have a preference. I think it was number 3 originally. Anything with red in it. Okay, so I think there is one. This is probably the reddest that we'll get. Okay, so in the absence of any other comment, and guys, just feel free to jump in with any characters that you want to be. So I think I only have one plague doctor now, but I'm double checking here for you. But this is the character you want, right? Tall Man Alive. I should mention this is a woman, but it's not a. And do you want Tall Man Alive as the name? And there is not a grave robber yet, Eyes of Sin. So if you would like, I can hold off until I get a grave robber, or I can make you a temporary hero until then. Tall Woman Alive, sure thing. Similar idea. You've got a few color options. This one's a little bit more diverse than the Man-at-Arms. Do you have a particular color that you'd like? I do have a Musketeer, if you would like, as a replacement. Red is nice. Okay. So yes, Eyes of Sin, if you would like a placeholder character, you've got a few different color options. Okay, do you want me to call this one Sin, or do you want me to call it something else? The red hair one. Alright. And unless I hear from anyone else, we've got Jamie Sam, Lumpy Space, Ego Karen. I think those are the other names that we've had around. So, oh, Hidden Citizen as well. If any of you would like characters, please let me know. Oh, you would like Mallory and call him Jamie. Okay. So no promises that I'm going to be able to get these people. No promises that I'm going to be able to get these people through. Okay, a quick caution for. I'm probably going to keep the Musketeer. Quick warning: I might wind up dumping this person, but I think if I dump somebody who has a name, I'll just replace. I'll just replace it out. But yeah, we can definitely do that. And Jamie, do you want... We've got brown, red, green, white. I guess it's probably more gold than brown. Anyways, if you have a preference in terms of colors, I'm happy to provide. And if there's no other requests after Jamie Sam's, we will move on to the quest. Oh, Igor Karen would like to be the new guy with the Morning Star. So I think Johnny Big Time has the only man-at-arms right now. Do you want me to wait? Oh, are you talking about the, sorry, it was probably the Flagellant, right? White, okay. Sorry, I think I mistook. This guy, right? Let me know if this is wrong, Ego, but, and you've got white, black, white and blue, red and blue. This is probably the most diverse. I mean, there's obviously some different skin colors in that, but I actually think there's a different skin tone as well as different outfit color. Oh, this is such a good character, Johnny Big Time. But yeah, do you have any preferences in terms of the outfit color, Ego? White and blue. Okay. Sorry, that's... I think it's this one you're talking about, right? Number 1? And Captain Zergey, how you doing? Do you want a character before I wrap this up? Because I think that accounts for everybody who's active in chat right now. Yep, okay, cool. We're all good. And again, apologies guys, these are the... So there's really only 2 people who are currently on the current quest, but I can assure you I will be playing this again in future, so... who do you want to be, Captain Zergey? We've got an Occultist, another Vestal, an Arbalist who's currently healing, a Hellion, a Highwayman, a Shield Breaker, an Abomination. Hang on. I must have screwed this up. This is supposed to be Jamie Sam's. Sorry, Jamie Sam. Yeah, okay. So what we have available, we've got 2 Occultists, 2 Arbalists. Oh, hang on. Do I have 2 Jamies now? Nope, I'm losing my mind. 2 Occultists, 2 Arbalists, an extra Vestal, an Abomination, Shield Breaker, Highwayman, and a Hellion. You have a custom character if you want it. Yes, so insofar as if you would like to take any of these, I'm happy to give one of them to you. No, Reynold and Dismas are my 2, those are the 2 fixed ones. So if you want to wait for Crusader to become available, I'm okay with that, but I'm not going to change these were the 2 that were reserved from, sorry, from the beginning. Oh, I see. As in, like, you yourself are inside the... I see. Then yes, if you would like to... I don't know how to do it, but how would you... If you tell me, I will happily do it. Just need to go to the car... Like, the stagecoach, you mean? Or the Nomad Wagon? Okay. Yes, unfortunately, I found out about this after the Kickstarter was completed. I felt like a bit of a fool. Just need to hit enter while on the stagecoach screen. Okay. Ah. Am I doing this right? Capital C A P T A I N space Z E R G Y. I don't actually know, so I thought that was just their clever way of doing like a. I thought that was their clever way of doing a like a security measure. I suppose there's one thing I can try. I mean, it could also be because I'm not a Kickstarter backer. I'm sorry, Captain Sergey. That's the Canadian keyboard. All keys are E. Yeah. I'm running a little low on time, so if you don't mind, I'll embark. Let me know if you want a character, like other than what we've already got. I will 100%. You will have priority on the next stream in terms of next character for sure. Okay, I am gonna go back to the Warrens, and I feel like, ooh, this is a good one. The Kyrgen's Charm. So yeah, the only question is, do I want to try and get rid of a quirk? Not really. Let's just get on with it. Probably a little excessive, but... Oh, interesting. I didn't think the Titans were all that bad in the full version, Johnny, but apparently switching to windowed mode... I'm actually in windowed mode, but let me try and get out of it. So this is going to get a little weird for the stream, but fear not. Oh, am I gonna need to reset the game? Okay, tell you what, Captain Zergay, I'm gonna when I'm off cast, I will be sure to add you to the roster. Okay. Yeah, we'll do one of these. So yeah, I know I spent a bunch of time creating you all as characters who are not in the current run, but them's the breaks. By the way, Johnny, I haven't seen you in Anthem for a little while. I know you were having some all sorts of setup and madness. Have you played the game much since last time? Because if I'm feeling better over the weekend, I feel like we need to go punch some enemies. All right, you can retreat from combat and even abandon quests if things are going terribly. Live to fight another day.
They breed quickly down there in the dark.
Good. So I'm not.
But perhaps we can slay them even faster.
I'm not too far behind then. Okay, so this isn't too terrible of a layout. We could probably do something like. Well, I'm gonna have to wind up missing one of these rooms. Actually, hang on. So I could do something like this, and I'd only wind up missing one. Yeah. So again, focusing on the stress generator if I can.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive. Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
I have nothing but sympathy for that situation, Johnny. I pretty much do the same on every platform.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Okay, that's actually really useful information. So we're going to do sort of a snake like this, and we will dodge most of the unnecessary fights. Don't think we have too many good trap disarmers. Okay. Pockety time. These guys are a nightmare.
Impressive.
God damn it!
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Good round. That's not good.
Back to the pit.
Thing is, Occultus is surprisingly high damage. At least in my experience, is pretty good at damaging enemies.
Continually
Or melee, that is.
Destroy them all.
And I really don't know if that's a psychology thing or if they are legitimately a strong melee character. Let's see. This is an Eldritch, is it? No, it's Beast. Again, sorry for the disease. Oh, what am I doing?
Foolish horrors.
Sorry.
Brought low and driven into the mud.
Cool. Oh, that's some great info. So I'll slightly adjust my pad. I'm still going to do one of these, but I'm going to go left instead of right. Thank you, Jamie Sam. So I shouldn't have recorded the thing last night.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
I also should have called in sick to work like every day this week, but I didn't, and I'm paying the penalty.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Okay, and focusing on the back row where I can. That's it. It's really hard for me to justify focusing down the back row in cases like this, because these are the guys who are going to move next. The thing is that with the 15 protection, it's pretty unlikely I'm going to be able to take these guys, maybe this guy before they attack, so...
Annihilated. Grievous injury, palpable fear. Destroyed.
Nice. So I did that because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a character with another move to be able to do damage to them. That is independent of Renault. In this case, I just decided to go for the bird in the hand. I will do weird reconstruction. I might try to go for a stun if I can get away with it, but... they're almost certainly going to die.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Ooh, sneaky. Alright. Cool. I think I'm just going to use this as a chance to heal rather than get too clever about it. Actually, I can probably... yeah, I will sacrificial stab this guy, but the rest of it I'm going to try and stun and heal if I can.
Be gone, fiend.
Okay, that's nice. So give me a little breathing room for healing up the party.
A momentary abatement.
It'd be nice to do weird reconstruction, but let's not push our luck.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end. A handsome reward for a task well performed.
Let's see what we're up against. 2 room battles. Okay. We're gonna move into this room here. I'm gonna camp out, and then we'll do the 2 fights. There's no major argument for me camping out here, other than the fact that if I don't use the firewood now, I'm probably never gonna use it this dungeon.
Gathered close in tenuous firelight.
So, obviously we got screwed last time. Oh, hang on. I don't know if... Okay, yeah, we'll do Bandit Sense, so prevents the nighttime ambush. I think the rest of it... Let's encourage. And I think I'll go for buffs. So, clean guns. We've got 2, so I could do a pep talk, which will reduce... Nah, in this case, we'll encourage.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
One of the nice bonus, you get a full torch after you rest. That's kind of why I let the torch run down. Well, it's not my loot anymore. Oh, that's a shame. That was a journal page.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Oh, okay. This will be straightforward, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna have Ancestral Abyssal Artillery. Catches, it won't actually matter, because if I kill one of them, it'll still change the lineup. So in this case, Great Shot.
Executed with impunity.
Yeah, so Abyssal Artillery wouldn't have helped either way.
Another one falls.
Have you seen my blog?
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Take a torch to him, then.
The light, the promise of safety.
Oh, this will be spicy. So originally I was gonna focus this guy down because this guy had already moved. Now that they're both gone, doesn't really matter.
Obliterated.
This is a nice little self-heal, but I need to make sure that Dismas gets some love if I can manage it. Okay, well, he's got more health and lower protection out of everything, so... It's not my strongest move, but it's nice to get a cheeky hit or a heal in if I can. That complicates things a bit. Again, this is just to get a little tempo in terms of being able to perform certain actions like heals.
This expedition at least promises success.
You know what? I think we'll equip this.
Finding the stuff is only the first test.
You arrived at home, but you stay here to the end and go to sleep. This time, This little time longer doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, well, it won't be too much longer. Ego. All right, I'm gonna feel like a moron doing this, but I'm actually gonna go for the. $25 gold, worth it. I do kind of want to see what's in that last room, and we're in good shape, so I'll just make sure that the torch is nice
The way
and high.
is lit. The path is clear.
I mean, I'm with a
We
kleptomaniac,
require
so
only the strength to follow it.
for all of my parties, the gains for this extra questing are actually lower than they'll ever be, because there's like, out of the party members, one of them can potentially deny all of the gains that I get, but I don't know, I've never felt like that's quite the way to think about extra adventuring. I always figure that
Ancient traps lie in
you know
wait.
what, I don't even need to worry about that, because he's
thirsting for blood.
I know I needed to do 100% of the room battles, so there's not going to be anything behind that door, and if he takes physical damage it doesn't matter, because it's the stress that's the killer. So I get whatever the value of the bandage was. And that's it.
Some experiments should have never happened. You are doing just work ending them.
Resolve, level up. Heroes gain Resolve XP for each successful quest. Resolve XP in turn determines the hero's Resolve level. Resolve level represents the hero's veteranship and directly acts as stress resistance against the horrors encountered in the dungeons. A low Resolve level hero tries a higher level quest will quickly crumble under the unimaginable stresses. Thick-blooded and beast hater. Cool. Now, unfortunately, Dismas has got a disease. He's got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
To some.
Town
A
is
sanguine memory to me.
The town is abuzz. A crumbling stone entry to a forgotten labyrinthian garden has been uncovered. The discoverer, sadly, has perished from innumerable insect stings. Concern rises. Stress reduction activities in town are slightly less effective. Alright. We're in pretty decent shape, I'd say. Oh, lepers are cool. We also have a grave robber. Oh, but I don't have space. Okay.
To those with a keen eye, gold gleams like a dagger's point.
Let's get rid of...
Send this one to journey elsewhere.
I'm gonna guess this is what
For
you...
we have need of
this is the new
sterner
sin.
stock.
And does anybody want to take over the old sin? I know Captain Zerge is still going to get his Crusader, so I mean it says full here, but I'm sure I'll be able to find space in the list. Jamie, I may wind up ditching this one, and what I'll do is I'll make you this Vestal instead if it comes down to it. But yeah, does anybody have a particular wish to play the Lady Musketeer? Did I spell that right? I think I did. Oh, nope. We'll keep the old. actually think you might be... Yeah, you're actually already the same. That's fine, because we have some surplus. But yeah, we'll sort this all out next stream. Let's go to the blacksmith. Still no upgrades. What I'd like to do is upgrade these bodies if I can. Actually, let's if I threw these two out, let's put Dismas in the medical ward. Let's say I wanted to put Ego in position 1. Yeah, this'll be the group that I start. Actually, you know what? I'm even gonna make sure I do this. We'll go to the Weald. I'm not playing this tonight, I'm just committing myself to it. Yeah, it's too much.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves. Let us burn out this evil.
Alright, so, next time we play Darkest Dungeon, which I haven't 100% figured out when that'll be, but I'm looking forward to it. Ego Akaran, Johnny Big Time, Cardon, and Maroward are gonna do a quick run. This is mostly to just trying to get these folks up to level up to level 2. But I really wanted to make sure I made it to 3 hours tonight, and especially because just a quick word. If you weren't here at the beginning, the whole reason I am doing this is because I sent. I should find the tweet. Yeah, give me a quick second, because I think you guys might be amused by this. So this whole madness, I had a great time with this game, by the way. I mean, I already knew I was going to have a good time with it. I hope my sickness wasn't too distracting. But if you want to know the silly reason why I did this tonight, so I sent this tweet out earlier today. I think this is a great little outtake of Orson Welles recording some Findus commercials. We know a certain farm in Lincolnshire. No. And I basically said, is like, you know, H.P. Lovecraft is cool and all, but I hope that somebody pays Wayne June to redo these commercial outtakes. And he replied and gave this rather good, like, I felt so bad for the tech, but like I also was really amused by it because I have seen real life directors do this on set, and it's very annoying. Anyways, so he basically gave this little video clip of William Shatner during a voiceover, just torturing this guy for giving him like a line read or yeah, it wasn't exactly a line read, but like it was, he gave him some pretty dubious direction, let's say. And anyways, it made me laugh. I thought it was very amusing, so I thought, you know, obviously, you know, The Darkest Dungeon is a little known indie. They needed to go to the public to get some Kickstarter financing. You know, I thought I'd pay them an exposure. I would lend my mega wattage to the to the game. No, like this whole thing happened because the voice of the ancestor made me laugh, and I thought, you know what, I want to do a stream now. So, very special thank you to Wayne June for not just giving a heck of a lot of personality. I mean, it's the reason I bought the game. Because of the narration, but he definitely brightened my evening on a week where I've definitely needed some perks, and yeah, that was a. I mean, I think the frozen peas one is a really funny outtake, but the Shatner one was really fun to listen to. So. I hope you guys enjoy that as much as I did, and I will be back most likely on Monday with Stellaris. Very unlikely I will do any weekend casts. I mean, it's not like I normally do. It's not normally like I normally do them anyway, but I am trying to do some like special events and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be very lucky if I can do a recording for Daggerfall at this rate. But yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna get some rest. I'm gonna hope that I don't perish. Who do I want to host? There's a few good people. Okay, even though Eyes of Sin was very nice and got shared the... Oh yeah, actually, sorry. There is one last... for those of you who didn't see this, for those of you who ask me to do voice things, there's a Google Drive link there. It is me recording a very brief essay by a man named Stephen Leacock, who is a Canadian economist and satirist. It is called My Financial Career. I actually think this is quite a funny little story. I hope you enjoy it. If you have ever asked, you know, oh, you'd be really good at doing audiobooks. Well, this is as close as you're going to get right now. So I hope you enjoy it. There have been more nice comments about it recently. Jamie Sam being one of them, and Lumpy Space, and needless to say, I hope you do enjoy it, but this is definitely one of these things where it takes quite a bit of effort to do them, and as much as I would enjoy doing them, I always need to weigh that against all the other things that I could be doing. So it is one thing in particular that I could definitely use, you know, I could use some feedback on if you'd like more of that, and that's not to discount what the other people have said. I am over the moon over those comments, but just with that in mind, like, this sort of stuff really does help me find out where I should be putting my time. So one way or the other, I hope it's, you know, a pleasant diversion. It's about 5 minutes, and if you like the sound of my voice, I was sick when I recorded it, so it's, you know, keep that in mind, but it's hopefully not unpleasing. But yeah, I will host Elegy because Eyes of Sin was nice enough to ask him to give some comments, and he hasn't yet. And maybe if we give him a nice big raid and make a joyful noise, he'll be like, oh, that System Chalk fellow. Perhaps I can give him sage advice as a professional broadcaster. That probably won't happen. Anyways, Elegy is somebody that Eyes of Sin hosts for, and is a reasonably cool cat, and is playing Fable, and I'm sure this is exactly where Eyes of Sin is going to go after this stream. So I hope you all have a lovely evening. Please enjoy Fable with Elegy. If Fable is not your thing, I should let you know there's a lot of good streams on right now. Kilgore Trout is playing Anvil of Dawn. Sheriff Eli is back to Grand Theft Auto 5. Rift Tracks is always on and always funny, and the Cool Eagle is playing Path of Exile. So lots of good streams, lots of good streamers on right now. But we're going to be visiting Elegy because I want something from him. No, because it has been a while since I've hosted that. So have a lovely evening. Thank you for making this unexpected stream enjoyable, and we will see you in the future.